Hey, Fancy Action Now fans, this is LBA Tour with the Fancy Action Now, and this is a response to Metro Exodus's apology to the fans. So there has been some drama going on with Metro Exodus, Deep Silver, and et cetera, right? So apparently, and this is inexcusable, and I knew that my other video, I lost a couple of subscribers, and I'm kind of wondering if it wasn't over this issue. But I don't retract anything that I said before about the publishers or the decision to go over to a new platform. It's always going to be bumpy. These kind of competitions sometimes get ugly. People are going to be jumping for the money. That's why you're seeing all these portals launching. That's why you're seeing Bethesda do it, Origin, which was sad. I don't know what happened to that thing, but you know, GOG is out there, and you've got the new Epic portal. There are companies that are not going to sit still for a 30% take of profits. They are not going to sit still for it when they can invest the money into their own portals, or they can go over to an Epic or whoever, whether they be embryonic or not, right? Now, one of the devs, who obviously does not have any experience in public relations. Again, a lot of these, electrical engineers and software engineers, they're not exactly what you would call personable, okay? They're very talented, very intelligent people, but they're not exactly they're not exactly diplomatic. Some of these guys are working 17 hours a day on their project, and you're telling them you're going to boycott it, and they just get their mad on. And unfortunately, somebody gave this guy a platform on social media, his own platform on social media, and said, hey, he attacked the fans. You don't attack the fans. You don't attack people that are spending money. People are going to get bent out of shape. I understand there was a big pre-order thing, and they bailed out of Steam because they got a cherry deal. That's what businesses do, and they're willing to take the short-term rumblings for the greater margin. It's all margin. When you get into merchandising and products and retail and all of that, everything comes down to margin. Everything. That is the final word. If you can eke out 1% or 2% more of margin, 9 times out of 10, it's going to get approved. Even if it's not customer focused. Even if you're going to drop your level of customer service. If a company says, look, that's what happened with call centers, man. I mean, people that can't barely speak English, and they're just like hanging up on you and stuff like that, because it's hitting their bottom line. They know they're going to have a certain amount of complaints. And what they do is they do the math, and they say, well, if we leave the call center in the United States, it's 10% off our margin or 5% off our margin. If we move it over to whoever, pick a country. They speak English, they have the front end, we'll train them for a couple of weeks. It's not going to be as good, but we're going to add 5% or 10% onto our margin. Boom, it's done. The customers don't like it. Jobs are lost. All kinds of bad stuff goes on. But that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. At the bottom line, it is margin. So I am not surprised that even if they got 12%, see, this is what I think happened. They were at 12%. They're at 30% on Steam. They're like, we got all these pre-orders. We really don't want to bounce. And then, like I said in my previous video, Epic called them up and go, what do you think about 5? You serious? Yeah. Send me the contract. Let me see the contract. I want to see the contract. Okay. Boom. Okay, we'll do it. I mean, something like that. Some number. They hit some number that Deep Silver and or, whatever, whoever, that made it worthwhile to deal with the customer fallout. And that's what the quartering pointed out in his own video. And he's correct. He's correct. Now, people are mad. Are people on Steam mad who did their pre-order and now it's $10 less on another platform? Yeah. They're going to be. There's nothing, again, unless Steam wants to work with these publishers on a different percent of sales, they're going to do it. That's, again, it's the marketplace. It's not great. It's not happy. If you want to boycott as a consumer, that is always your choice. But I guarantee, because this all comes down to the game too. If you're a Metro Exodus fan and you want to play the game, you'll buy it off Epic. Or you'll go buy a physical copy for a console or something. But if you're a PC gamer and you want to play that game, you'll go buy it. Now, you might be a curmudgeon and say, I'll wait a year. Okay, wait the year. You'll probably get it at a better price. But a lot of people, after they get their mad on, are going to calm down and they're going to go ahead and buy the game. And they know that. Epic knows it. So, again, it's customers will get mad. Customers were going to get mad at that. But they hit the number that made sense. If you're talking about selling a game and torquing off some customers that have pre-ordered, but you're getting 25% more per copy, or 22%, or whatever the deal that was cut. Whatever the deal that was cut, it made it worth them to pull with all their pre-orders and go over to another platform. It must have been a cherry deal, but they hit the right number. Like, we want this one. That's, again, my last video, probably not the most popular opinion out there in the world. There's a lot of channels like The Quartering and Jim Sterling and all the biggie wigs, Review Tech, all the big boys in my neighborhood are like, wow, the customer's wrong and shouldn't have done it and all the rest of it. I understand why they did it, and I know how the marketplace works, and it isn't always pretty. Sometimes it's a bloody mess, a bloody mess perk. And that, again, it was going to happen. Steam is not going to move off their price or their percent of percent of profit until there's a worthy competitor, until there's a reason to do it. And Epic is giving them that reason. So, to be honest, all of this can be blamed on Steam. Because what do you want to bet? And nobody has mentioned this. Nobody has mentioned this. Did the publisher for Metro go to Steam and said, look, they just offered us 5. Or let's just say they offered us 12% and then they came down to 10. Will you come off of 5% of sales? Will you come off 10% of sales and make it 20%? And we'll stay with you. We'll just keep on going. We'll keep on rolling through this launch. Because they were already pre-ordering the game with Steam, because they were already within an agreement with Steam, they had to break an agreement. And before they broke that agreement, I guarantee they went to Steam and gave them the opportunity to come off their percent of sales. And they said no. Or they did something so ridiculously low, like we'll take 2% off. And they said, okay, we're going with the Epic deal. Did Steam have an opportunity to keep that title by lowering their percent of sales? I guarantee you they did, and they said no. Why aren't Steam customers mad at Steam? You got to look at both sides, man. Takes two to tango. You got Epic, you got Steam. They're already with Steam. They're already taken. They've had a huge period of pre-orders. They've taken tons of pre-orders. They're ready to go. They're in the chute. This guy comes over here and goes, yay, 10% here, 10% over here. They go back to Steam. They go back to their primary client. They go back to their primary partner, and they say, what can you do? What can you do for us if we stay with you? And if they did nothing, or they did some ridiculously small, insulting accommodation, that is what decided them ultimately. because Steam wouldn't work with them. Steam wouldn't break price. And if you're not willing to break price, then I'm going to go over here and explore this opportunity and see how it goes. And if it works out, boom, that's where I'll be. Think about it. Think about it. I apologize to the fans of Metro. I apologize to the Steam loyalists. I'm a Steam customer right here. Never bought anything off of Epic as of now. But they did come out and they did offer an apology for the devs' comments about, we're not going to offer this and that on PC. He's basically saying things that he really didn't have the authority to say. Now, he may be reprimanded, he may be terminated. I guarantee he'll be at least reprimanded. And you really shouldn't allow your devs that kind of access if they're not trained, at least in just the rudiments of public relations. That was an unfortunate occurrence. And I apologize to you, the consumer. That's ridiculous. You don't threaten clients. You don't threaten customers. And you don't say, well, neener, we'll do this and we'll do that. That guy didn't have the authority to make those kind of, let alone he shouldn't be doing it, but he does not have that kind of authority to do that kind of thing. So that is my response, my update of the other perspective to the Metro Exodus saga, the apology, and what was the real conversation in here. And Steam is as accountable as Epic for the response to the customer. Epic offered a deal, they refused to deal. It's that simple. So are you mad at Epic for trying to do business and being competitive and being aggressive? Or are you mad at Steam for being monolithic and inflexible in a changing marketplace? This has been LVAO Tour of the Fancy Action Now. Let the comments fly. I'm ready. And if you're a fair weather sub, see you later. Ha ha ha! Boom. Bear with me.